What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes reporting for duty here on a Thursday. Excited to talk to a long time friend of ours, friend of the show, who we've covered for many, many years. It's Jim freaking Miller. Holy cow, Jim, still doing it. You're in your 40s now. You ain't stopping because what we know is you got a fight coming up, all right? Not forget about 300 for now. You already got a fight coming up before 300. I guess it's no, I dare not say a warm up. Well, we won't say that. But you have a fight in January against Gabriel Benitez, and then you've already been penciled in for UFC 300. Incredible after all these years. We always tell you this that you're still doing this.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it wasn't part of the plan initially, So I told myself when I started training, I was like, I'll make it to like 34. I'm a small guy. There aren't a lot of older lightweights, So, and 34 came and went, and I hit 4-0 a couple months ago. So, it's been a pretty wild ride. Not the road I anticipated taking. But we're still going, still able to perform, and I'm excited to fight in January, and I'm not the type to look ahead, but being able to be on 300 and this is going to be one of my quicker turnarounds in a few years. I think maybe probably 2016. I fought at 200, and then I fought less than 2 months later when I fought Joe Lozon the second time at the end of August up in Canada. So that's the last time I fought this quick together. So maybe 2020. I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting one in there, but it's exciting to be able to know that I'm gonna have come out of this fight, however it is, and get right back into it.
And will 300, have you already announced, or do you know that could be it? Or will that just be the second fight in 2024 for Jim Miller?
As of today, that's the second fight in 2024. So I years ago when I mentioned hey, maybe I'll get to UFC 300 and call it quits, I was in a very different place. So the way I feel right now, I'm definitely playing it by ear, but I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know when it's the last one. I'm excited to take on that training camp, to take up, to know it's my last one. I'm not going to be the type that steps away and then comes back. It's as of right now, it's not the last one. And really what it comes down to is can I live the life? Can I train, 5-6 days a week, and get through that. The fights, believe it or not, are kind of the easy part. It's that daily beating yourself up, trying to get in a better shape, trying to improve day to day. That's really wears on you. So I feel like I've got it kind of figured out at the moment. After 300, I think the thing is to fight close to home again. Fight in Newark. I was trying to get on the MS3 card. That was kind of my plan, was to fight in November and then at 300, but that didn't happen. So I'd like to fight close to home so that my friends and family can come for one last one, and we'll see how it goes. It's like I said, it's fight by fight, kind of just playing it as we go.
So the timing of Atlantic City, 2 weeks before 300, just kind of pretty much sucked at this point.
Yeah.
And you're going to get into another Atlantic City card or New York card at the end of the year. Jim, I thought the world of the Korean Zombies exit. It was pre-planned, didn't go his way. A lot of us wrote him off. Max is obviously a beast, But he fought, man. He fought. It was a fun fight. And then at the end, they played his music. I was like, geez, that kind of is the way to go, to know it's your last one and then just do it, versus, I guess, getting in there and whether it goes your way or not, your body just tells you something. You lay the gloves down. That seemed to be the way you were leaning towards, right? Making the announcement and forecasting that way.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm not the guy that makes emotional decisions, you know? So, obviously if there was some, you know, knock on wood, if there was some devastating injury that happened in a fight at this point, and I wasn't planning on it to be my last, you know what, I might pop the gloves off, and because I don't know at 40 years old, with all the miles that I've got on my body, if I'm going to come back from one of these crazy injuries that sometimes happen to people. And I think that would be the appropriate probably thing to do. I obviously don't want to ever be in that position, but yeah, my goal is to know, and for you guys to know, and like, I don't know how to describe it, but like I you know, I was like this close to retiring at 200.
Wow.
You know, like when I was training for 196, it was like, man, like I was barely able to move, barely able to train. And I was like, let's just get through this one and we'll get to 200 and we'll call it quits at 200. And, you know, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease right, like 3 days before 196. And so it was like, okay, well now let me play it by ear and see if I feel better on medication. And, you know, when you go from like a 15% of your capability to like a 20%, it feels like a huge jump and it feels great. And then it took me a while to realize that I was only still at about 20%. So like I was there, I'd made the decision. So for me, it's been like, okay, well, you know, yeah, it's like, why not like have fun with it? Why not, you know, make it a little bit more of a spectacle, and yeah, just like the idea of training for my last fight, the idea of walking out to knowing it's my last fight, like that gets me pumped up. I don't really, like I said, I don't know how to describe it. Like why it's like that, why I'm excited for it. I don't know why I'm excited for it. I mean, maybe it's because I've beaten the shit out of my body for the last, you know, 20 something years. But yeah, it's you know, like I'm excited for that fight because I know I'm a dangerous man because there's literally no tomorrow.
Well, you're not the only one. Everybody's really excited about it. And I guess what I want to ask you is, going into this fight, I know that you have your opponent and you're all set, and you're never a guy that anybody questions whether or not he's looking ahead or all that. I mean, these are just questions that everybody wants to know about the 300 thing. Have you thought about opponents, and do you feel like you've kind of earned that position, in my opinion, where you could say, hey guys, this is who I would like to fight?
Yeah. You know, I'm not really thinking about it. You know, I'll think about it a bit more January 14th. I never have been the guy to really be picking. You know, who knows? Like, if it's going to be that big of a card, it's going to be, you know, let's put on a good show. Whoever, you know, maybe the stars align and I get to fight Connor. Maybe, yeah, maybe I get Patty. Maybe I get the rubber match with Oliveira, or a Matt Brown, or you know, any one of these guys. Like it's an opportunity to fight anybody, right? But it's an opportunity to fight, like win one of those big fights, and I'd be willing to go up to 70s easily to fight somebody, one of these other guys that's been around for a long time. You know, and the crummy part about it too is that things always happen. So I'm going to be prepared to fight, and if the stars align for me and I get to hop into a big fight because somebody else ends up pulling out, then I'm gonna do it. But yeah, like I'm excited to be a part of it. Hopefully, everything works out and I get to get there. But doesn't matter. I'll fight Brock. Bring him back.
You have
bring him
won
back.
4 of your last 5 fights.
Mhm.
All 4 have been finishes. And again, like I told you earlier, you're Jim freaking Miller at this point. Everyone loves you. Dana White loves talking about you and everything you've done. So let me toss a name your way. I'm going to watch your face when I say it because I've been pushing it. After hearing some of these other names, I might be going in the whole other direction that you were maybe expecting. But I thought if they were going to give, if Tony Ferguson was going to stay with the UFC, he might match because you guys are OGs, close in age. I think he's 39, you're 40.
Yep.
Both considered legends of the lightweight division. And I thought that one might work. Now, he's been on a losing streak. You've been, like I say, 4 of your last 5. But at the same time, he's a pretty popular name. Everyone, goes nuts for him at the press conferences and things like that. What are your thoughts on like something like that, OGs versus OG? Are you looking in another direction?
I'm down for that. I'm absolutely down for it. Like Tony's whole, I guess career at this point, it's tough. Like I personally believe that his run was a 12 fight win streak or something like that at lightweight was the best run that we have seen, honestly, because Anderson had a great run, but like as that pressure to maintain the title gets to you, some of those fights, the Patrick O'Tay fight and the Damian Maia fight, that wasn't the same Anderson. Tony was going out against the Pettises and Cowboy and all these other Barboza and like
Kevin Lee,
Kevin Lee. The amount of the violence, the way that he was fighting and winning and beating these guys was, I think it's unmatched, honestly. And this sport is about timing, and the fact that he didn't get his opportunity to get the unified title, it sucks. And then, like his skid that he's on now, it's hard. It's hard to see. I'm not the type of guy that's going to tell anybody when they should hang it up or anything like that. But, I saw in like the ways to win, right? I think it's a meme now, right? It's like Tony needed to remember who he is or something like that. And that's honestly, as a 40-year-old lightweight, I understand that it is the exact opposite of what he should be doing. Tony today, at the end of 2023, or that last fight with Patty, is not the guy that he was in 2016. Right? He is not the same guy. He needs to learn how to be as dangerous as he can with what he has now. And I don't know, like I don't know him personally. I don't know what his approach is and how he's doing it. But I've always been a fan of his. I think it'd be a fun fight. I think that a few years ago when I was in my low point, that he kicks my ass. I think a few years back before I was dealing with all that shit, it's a great friggin' fight. I think now it's my fight. So it's a fight against another legend that I'd jump at the opportunity. It is hard to watch somebody that has come through it with me, as a peer for so many years, and he can't get it. He can't figure it out. He can't figure out what he needs to do to win right now. And that's it's unfortunate because I'm a huge fan.
Jim, so let me ask you this. What about placement on the card? Does that matter to you? Where would you like to be placed on that card?
I mean, I'd like to be placed as high as possible. You know, I've got 42 UFC fights.
Jeez.
God.
Right. Oh man, just to hear that. Holy cow.
In my head, I can only think of one boring one. You know, like, so
which one was that?
It doesn't matter who. My fight was Selecki. Okay. I thought it was just, you know, just the way things matched up. Very good grappler and content with just maintaining top position, and good enough to just maintain top position against me. Where nothing happened. Nothing happened in the fight. Where, like, I either come out and I steamroll people and make it violent. A few guys have done that to me, or it's a bloody, you know, back and forth battle. Like that's kind of the way it goes. So, yeah, like if you need a fight that you know is going to be exciting, I think I'm your guy. Like if we do the math, that's like what, maybe like 2.5% of my fights have been boring. So, yeah, like I'm coming out there to be violent, to knock people out, choke them out, and even if I'm getting my butt kicked, I'm still trying to do it. I'm not looking for a way out. I'm not trying to minimize damage. I'm trying to find my spot to win the fight. So I think that I could be high on the card if they'd allow me, right?
Well, okay, I got 2 more corny things for you. You're either gonna fist bump me or you're gonna slap me next time you see me. I don't know.
All right.
You've seen the movie 300, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to mess with your walkout because it's one of the best songs ever. But what if you wore one of them capes and one of them helmets as you walk out, that 300 Spartan look?
Yeah, you know, I mean, and that's I mean, that's the thing, right? Born and raised in Sparta, New Jersey. It's there. It kind of writes itself, you know.
Had you thought of that, or did Ghost just get credit for that?
No, like it's popped up, right? Like it's been mentioned. I've thought of it, but you know, it's definitely something that's there. Here's my issue. Okay, here's my issue. Like I've had family in the town of Sparta. Like my grandfather was, I think, moved there when he was like 6. It's the opposite. The opposite type of people that you'd expect that would be in like the movie. You know, there are some great people, but yeah.
I gotcha. All right, and then this is the last one from me. Okay, so I kind of like that you've been a part of 100, 200, 300, 400. I think we're a little crazy.
No, thanks.
We're saying that, right? But how about just commentating a fight on 400 or something? You have to be a part somehow.
I love that. Yeah, let's do it. I just a couple months ago, a couple weeks ago, did a commentating for a local event, and it's fun. It's exciting, you know. It's cool to be a part of it. It's cool to watch the fights and talk about it while it's going on. So, if I was given that opportunity, I would jump on it in a heartbeat.
Jim, just a couple more from me. Andre Arlovsky's on the same card as you.
Yep.
He's got 40 fights. You have 42 fights. Is any of this have to do with you'd like to set? Because let's face it, after you and Arlovsky and maybe Guida hang it up, I don't know that anyone's going to get close to this. It's just a different, you know, they train earlier, the wear and tear, more competitive, things like that. So does any of this, is it just friendly competition amongst some of the OGs, just kind of looking over your shoulder? And you do got him, I believe, 4 years in age or something like that.
Yeah.
So does any of this a friendly rivalry? Have you two ever chatted about it?
We have chatted about it, and the funny thing is I'm in the lead, so it's not a competition for me. So I'm not the one who feels the pressure. Like you said, it's nobody's really going to come close to it after the handful of us, because the sport has changed. But it's not. I like having the number. I like having, okay, he's got the most fights, he's got the most wins. But it's like I've got 25 UFC wins. Like nobody else does. Like the 20 UFC wins is it's an elite group. It's an awesome to be a part of the group of fighters that have that many wins. It's not necessary for me to maintain that. I'm not going to prolong my career longer than it needs to be in order to maintain it, or to maybe take it back or whatever. So yeah, personally, I don't feel any pressure for it. I was talking to Andre at our last fight, and I was telling him, dude, I was watching him fight before I even started training. I don't
at UFC 28. Can you believe that?
I don't understand. I don't understand how it works. Because he's only a couple years older than me. It's like, were you fighting at 16 years? Because I don't get it. I was in high school watching him fight, and it's like, I can't wrap my head around the fact that he's still competing. Different divisions, obviously different things to worry about in those fights. I feel like it's a little bit easier for me as a lightweight to continue on. But yeah, I don't know. It's awesome. He's one of the legends of sport, and an absolute. I'm absolutely a huge fan of his, and like I said, I've watched him for so long, and it's cool to share the cards with him. It's cool to be tied together in some way, right? I didn't expect that, right? I didn't expect that to happen, but here we are. So I'm grateful that I've got these opportunities that I've been able to earn, and keep going.
Let's close with this. A few years ago, you and Goes did, I think, what was the segment called, Goes?
It was Unpopular Opinion.
Unpopular Opinion, that's right. What was it again? The Beatles are overrated or something like that?
Yes, yeah. The Beatles are overrated.
That.
Yeah.
Let's revisit that, because Goes was saying pre-interview that a lot of people were fist bumping you. They were like, "Yeah, man, I'm feeling it." I'm not a Beatles maniac in any way, but let's revisit it. Why again? I mean, they did hit number one quite a lot. They're super popular. What was it you're not feeling? For the new fans maybe that are here.
Yeah, there's they've got some really good songs, right? And they left a huge mark on rock and roll and all that stuff. But I just think that, because the problem is, there's radio stations right around me that play the whatever the 12 o'clock Beatles block and all this stuff, and it's there's only 3 good songs. Some of this stuff is nonsense. They're on LSD when they wrote this stuff. It's just gibberish. And now, granted, it is 2023, and there's a lot of stuff on the radio that's just gibberish. But I just feel like the quality of their music and maybe the message of their music, more importantly, has been exaggerated because of the impact that they had.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that their music is like,
so they're good,
powerful.
but not great,
Yeah,
or
like,
are they actually below
yeah.
average? Where do they sit?
No, I'd say they're on the verge of great, but it's like they're not the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not the greatest.
At UFC
You know?
300, how much would it take for them to, instead of playing your walkout song, you walk out to a Beatles song?
I don't know if there's any.
Some rich guy in the audience at the weigh-ins who
Yeah.
said, "Dude, here's $100,000 if you do it. Would you do it for $100,000?"
Like what song? I don't know.
Help! I need somebody.
Yeah, like I don't know if it works.
Would you turn down
if the price is right? What?
Would you turn down 100 G's? Is that enough?
Oh no, I'd take that in a heartbeat. Yeah, let's I'll just right back in the day, I'll walk out with my headphones on.
That's funny. All right. Well, listen, thanks for the time you set aside today. I think we caught you between practice, and I know you got dad duty coming up here.
Well,
but it's always a fun chat with you. We respect you tremendously for what you've done. Those are some incredible records that'll likely hold up unless old Andre makes a run in 2024. The only other one I looked at, Jim, was Charles Oliveira. You know, he's got a lot of mileage, but he started young.
Yeah.
He's sitting at 32. You're at 42. This is total fights. RDA, I think, is going to close things up soon. Clay Guida, I think, is going to close things up soon. Whereas Charles Oliveira, I think, still early 30s. So that might be your only threat. And as far as wins, you know, there is longevity in the heavyweights. So perhaps Andre could strike there.
Yeah.
Oliveira sits at 22 there. And of course, that doesn't mean you're going to sit at 25. You might, you might make it 28 by the end of 2024. Who knows? But hey, it's still amazing, you know, and like I say, congrats on the longevity of it. You're hugely popular and you got a lot of skins on your wall, man. It's incredible.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for the time. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.